All right, so welcome to
Magic. I fucking talked. We're all great start. Go again.
Great start. Welcome to PlayRust PublicRadio. My name is Drostan, and I'm here with Skunk Monk, and that's all the intro you're getting today.
Oh, fuck you then.
Yeah.
Dick.
We'll talk about the big update just first off, because holy fuck,
Yeah.
this is a big update.
Ginormous. Can't even think of words to describe it.
Now, the most important part about this update is right at the end of the dev blog, they show a concept art for horses and horse saddles, riding words. So that's the biggest thing, is we can ride horses at some point, and that's pretty much the whole update. So you guys can go home.
Absolutely, yeah. We're done here. The mere thought of horses beats out any of this actual tangible blueprint reform that we've had. So,
Oh yeah,
end
I
of
guess
podcast. It was
we
good
could
talking
probably-
with you.
we could probably talk about the blueprint reform too.
I mean, I guess. I mean, after talking about horses, everything's gonna be a little lackluster. But sure, we can move on to fucking blueprints.
All right, so first off, we can still get blueprints, but now we have these blueprint fragments, and like a lot of people are bitching about how it's such a grind, but it literally just added another way to get blueprints and left the old blueprints in. So
Yep.
they just made it easier to get blueprints.
Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love the system. I love how you can trade up if you're going for a specific blueprint. It gives you like 5 different pools that you can take a chance on instead of one giant pool, to pull random things from. But people are always going to bitch about it. Like, we were on the server today, and there was already people saying, oh, this is just as much of a hassle as before.
When it's literally less of a hassle.
I know. You can get I think my favorite part is you collect the fragments and you can get 100% research on something just by getting enough fragments for it.
Granted, it's quite a bit of fragments, but they seem to come pretty easy. I was running around the sphere tank monument earlier, and I
Dying
pick up
around the sphere tank monument.
dying, and every time I died, I'd spawn right next to it. But that we'll talk about that later. I picked up like 15 blue fragments here, 5 fragments here, but then sometimes I get like 50 of them out of a pile of trash. So you can really quickly get 100 of them if you're on a like lower population server. Granted, if you're on a high population server, you're just gonna get wrecked over and over again anyway. So
Very true.
We'll leave those out of the conversation for the most part.
I will take a grind that is going to guarantee me an item or a blueprint that I want or don't have over the barrel whacking of yesteryear.
At least a fairly useful blueprint, you know?
Yeah.
Because the common ones are kind of useless, though there are things like the medical syringe in the common tier, so you're going to get something useful from each tier.
Absolutely. I like that. I'm just looking over the divisions for everything. The second tier, which is the page, that includes the quarry, actually, which surprised me. I figured that would be a lot higher up on the tiers than tier number 2. What is there, 5? There's 4, actually. There's 4.
The later tiers probably have the things like the refineries, though.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. I'm not seeing it, but I also can't read, so
Speaking,
it's probably there.
I'll talk while you look. Speaking of the refineries and stuff, a lot of the monuments now have like public access facilities. Like I was at the the sphere monument has things like the I think there were the refineries, and then you can go to the satellite, and the satellite has a research table and a what's it called, repair bench, and that was pretty interesting. It didn't have any loot, which is kind of silly, but man, the sphere tank monument, the changes that happened to it are phenomenal. Now it has these catwalks and stuff, like snaking in and out of it all over the place. Getting to the top is actually a challenge if you don't know how. Like me, I don't know how yet because I keep dying about halfway up. But the acoustics are awesome. It like creaks and groans under its own weight. Like if you're walking on the metal, it like clanks and echoes. And if you're inside it, everything you do echoes, and it's just eerie as shit. Like if you're trying to sneak around, you'll hear it like groaning, and like, you know, there's people all around you because it's right now it's just a really hot location for everybody to go and try to get some fat loot out of, because I think it's the best loot in the game is at that monument right now.
There's actually a video that's pretty high up on the PlayRust Reddit. It's about the acoustics specifically inside the Death Star, as people are starting to call it. This guy brings a guitar in there, which I think is just clever, and he plays a little guitar, you know, and listens to it echo around and everything, and then just hits the rail with a hatchet, and I think he shoots a gun a couple of times. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't experienced it firsthand, but God, that made me just want to go find it and live in it.
I think it would be really cool to have a concert in there.
Do voices bounce around like that?
I don't know. I'm usually like dead silent and like about to shit my pants, so I haven't said a word in there.
Fear definitely bounces around inside of that. I think that's in the changelog. But no, yeah, it's great, and I love what you were talking about, the publicly accessible facilities, like the research table and the repair bench are pretty cool, but the one that I'm excited about is the publicly accessible quarry, because a specific thing about it is that it mines high quality metal. It's not just, you know, a shitty stone and ore thing. It's high quality metal ore. I think it was ore. It might have been fragments. I don't know.
I
but
think it's ore. I haven't been near it.
I would assume it's ore. But that's gonna be so crazy. Like, I'm just imagining trying to get that thing running and tending to it while defending it at the same time. I just feel like there's gonna be some great shootouts and fights and battles centered around that bitch.
It's crap. I lost my train of thought.
It's all right. We know you can't read. It's okay.
Yeah, no. Words are very difficult to come out of my mouth, and reading is not easy either.
That's why we like guns better than books.
Yeah, that's why we shoot things.
I'm actually very against this update because they've put in blueprint pages in books and libraries, and I can't read, so I take it as an insult.
I was getting like chased around the Sphere Monument like for the 5th time by the same guys, and I'm like yelling out the mic. I'm like, I just want to know how to read. Do you know how terrible it is being an adult and not knowing how to fucking read? Of course you don't, because you have all the blueprints.
Some people just live in the lap of luxury and are out of touch with the common man.
It's terrible.
It's a tragedy.
Aside from the blueprint changes, we got a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh yes.
Rockets have been nerfed a little bit.
Tiny bit. To be honest, I haven't fired a rocket in like 2 or 3 goddamn months. So these changes they keep talking about, I'm sure are great and hopeful, but I can't speak to them. I haven't even seen a rocket being shot in a long time.
I've had rockets shot at me, but aside from that, I haven't shot one either.
I haven't even had them shot at me. I don't know what it is. What's the change? Talk about what's the change to them?
The explosion now has a line of sight to it, so it won't blow things up behind the wall, and the splash damage radius has been almost halved. So you can't just super easy go and like just tear down a base with them anymore. People would make the argument, it's less effective than 1C4. Yeah, but it affects like everything around it. So it like eventually will be stacking its effect.
Yeah, that makes sense now that you actually explain it. So now it's more of a, I guess, like a breaching charge rather than I don't know, a mini nuke shot at a base.
Sort of, yeah. It still has
Some
a
along those lines.
still has a splash radius, but it's not as bad. And
Right.
I'm not sure, but apparently they work closer to like C4 than before. But I'm not exactly sure. I haven't gotten to test that kind of stuff yet.
Okay, I gotcha.
Um,
Another big thing they have changed, big-ish, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's maybe a medium, but they've changed the way that fat and cloth and the new item leather works. Now, instead of getting, well, first of all, you can't get fat from humans, from people anymore. Or very, very little, I believe is actually what it is, right? Just very
it's
little
like
fat.
one.
Like one. So no more effective fat farms. It's now directly tied to how long your specific Newman has been alive. So there's a certain rate at which your Newman gathers fat. So if you've been alive for a long time and get killed, then you have, more fat than, a fresh spawn. So no more fat farms, making a million little sleeping bags and just respawning and having your friend kill you and blah blah blah. But they also
So
added in leather. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so the problem was we weren't getting enough fat and stuff from like animals to be able to like fund our stuff. So what they did was they made you get less low grade fuel for your fat, and then they make pretty much the only way we had of getting fat reliably completely nerfed. Instead of addressing the problem of, hey, maybe we should make animals give a little more fat, like just a
Yeah.
little bit. But no,
Yeah.
I think they give less as well, which just makes it a pain in the ass to make a furnace. Like, it's really hard to make a furnace now.
Yeah, we were playing earlier and I was hunting animals. Well, first of all, I was having trouble finding animals, but after like 5 animals, I still didn't have enough to get a furnace made, which is kind of frustrating, A little bit. I feel like they're trying to push you to go into automation, the oil pumps and refineries, and then by extension the quarries and everything. But I don't know. I feel like they've got something coming down the pipeline to fix it, maybe.
Yeah, they're gonna be tweaking the shit out of a lot of stuff for a while. Um, you started to say something else before I cut you off as well.
Uh, Leather. It was kind of an extension of they changed what drops from animals and humans. They added in a new thing, leather. And so now instead of using cloth to make burlap and hide things, you're going to now use leather for hide. It's also going to be used for certain armors, like the straps to hold the pieces of metal together. I guess for the road sign and for the metal faceplate and armors and such. And I dig it. I didn't even realize I was collecting leather earlier, but I got back to the base and I had like 60 of it. So I don't know, I guess you get a ton of leather, it seems like.
Yeah, I think wolves and stuff, and deer maybe drop it. Horses do too.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wasn't quite sure about, change wise, but I can't remember what it was right now. Well, we'll get back to that kind of stuff. Let's see. They're doing a lot of work on the world gen as well. They brought back glaciers finally, which I know where I'm gonna make my next base now. Actually,
Wait, what's a glacier? I haven't ever seen a glacier, and I didn't know there ever was glaciers.
oh, there totally were glaciers. Here, let me. Here's a picture of it. I'll send it over to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Bing.
Glaciers. They're out in the ice biome, and they're out in the water.
Oh.
Yeah, if you could build up to them, you could build a house on top. That's really hard to raid.
Yeah, and not freeze on your way out there.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward. and I missed out on them last time because I don't think I was playing when the glaciers were around the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and there's more than just one of them, so it's not like a monument deal where only one person gets it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture you sent me, and I'm trying to figure out how exactly you would build out there. I know at one point during one wipe, there was this pretty large island up to the north of our map, and it was an island completely separate from the major landmass, and it was
Yeah.
completely snowy. But I was trying to get over there, and I was having the hardest time because you couldn't build a bridge all the way across that wasn't underwater, and if you go underwater at all, you freeze in like 30 seconds or something crazy. So
they've given us a little bit longer to hold our breaths as well, and I think some of the things give better freezing protection than others now.
Okay. It was just the second you get wet and you're in cold weather, it's just it's fucked up. That actually makes me think about what are they gonna do with the hazmat suit? Like, it's kind of pointless at the moment.
Well, they took out the radiation for now, so I know they're gonna plan on adding it back in when it's less of just an annoying thing.
Okay.
Probably after they finalize all the changes to the blueprint system.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I like the hazmat suit and the way it looks. If it were more protective, I would wear at least the head all the time. It looks like a spacesuit to me, and I dig it. Old 50s, like retro sci-fi, you know? When everything was like tight spandex and shiny red laser blasters with rings around the entire thing.
Oh, no. Real retro sci-fi is tinfoil outfits. Everything made of fucking tinfoil.
Yes. Because there was some fetish with tinfoil and sci-fi back in the day.
It looked futuristic because it was shiny.
I guess that's really what our future used to look like, was the same as now, but shiny. Anyways,
back to Rust.
Back to the, game that this podcast is actually about.
Another thing they added, I think, no, they haven't added it yet, but it's coming next week. They're adding a larger refinery, larger refractionating, whatever. It's a big oil tower.
I saw that. It's very cool looking.
I
would be excited if I'd ever seen crude oil before.
Oh, I've seen it. You get them out of chests, out of
really?
barrels and shit. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was one of the things this week, I think, is that oil barrels spawn in the airfield at least, maybe in other rad towns as well.
It definitely spawns in the what's it called area? The
Death Star.
The Death Star.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
okay.
We're getting that. They've implemented sort of the windmill. It's in game. Only admins can spawn it. It doesn't do shit but spin around like a windmill does.
Oh.
But it's the first step in electricity, and I'm really curious in how we link things together with electricity, and just what we can do with it.
I'm very curious too. It either be like an area-based thing, like you plop down a windmill and then within a certain area you can get power.
I mean, that would be like classical, like Tesla style electricity. Like Nikola Tesla wanted to power everything through the airwaves, and he invented something that could actually like remotely power things. The problem is, and what we know now about electricity in the air and whatnot, is it would kind of cause cancer. But, since we're Newmans, we really don't care. I mean, we're going to die over and over again anyway.
Yeah. I'll take about 3 crossbow bolts to the back of my head each life before I ever live long enough to get cancer.
And then you'll take another 14 of those bolts before you ever die of cancer.
For real, yeah. So I'm not worried about terminal diseases. So I have to. I'm still. That's gonna be the next big thing. Is electricity. I'm trying to think about what you said, how we're gonna link stuff up. It'd be like an area-based thing, or maybe you specifically have to build. I mean, they may go straight up Minecraft tech it, and you have to build wire and connect things with lengths of wire.
Did you ever see that game? I think it was Space Base Alpha or Moon Base Alpha.
I think I've seen a little bit of it, like on YouTube, maybe.
In the game, you're kind of like moving these like power cables across the ground. They're just kind of like strewn all over the place. They're just big fat power cables. I'm thinking maybe we'll see something like that where we just lay wire down on the ground and like physics it up to everything. But that's way too much work to expect out of the Rust development team.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited about that. We've got our blueprint reform. I think this sounds like a political movement, blueprint reform. The next big thing, I would think, would be electricity, don't you?
I would almost agree, except for the concept art they posted of horses with saddles on them.
Right. I mean, I thought that went without saying.
I gotta talk about these saddles for a second, because
Okay.
the concept art ranges from like kind of actual saddle-y looking things to what looks like a poncho with a welcome mat with a pillow duct taped to the horse. Yeah, that's the number 4 one. And some of them look like actual saddles with like bags in the back, but I like the one that's a floor mat with a pillow duct taped to the back of the horse. That's my favorite.
That's all I would expect is I'm looking at it right now. That's beautiful. Which one you were talking about? 2 or 4?
4.
Yeah, 4. It's it's just a rug, like
A rug and some
like
cloth.
a bag of flour or something.
It looks like it does look like a bag of like a sandbag or a pillow. One of the two.
I like it. I feel like number 1 might be the way they go with it, though.
Maybe I
If
want
we're
to see
placing
it.
bets here.
I want to see it be a modular system, so I can throw bags on the horse. I could I could put a bean can helmet on it if I wanted.
You can, yeah. No, that's good. You could be a trader horse, a bunch of inventory slots that you can put shit on. Or a war horse, you armor them up and stuff. Ooh,
fucking wagons. I hope we get wagons. I've never seen a game with an actual horse and wagon that was like physics based and really done right, And I've been wanting that in games since fucking Ultima Online had horses, and I haven't seen it yet.
That'd probably come. I feel like horses would come, and then we'd have to wait for cars before wagons would happen, because that'd be a passenger-based thing, What are you thinking? Like for people riding in the wagon, or for?
Okay. Give me use your mouth and talk while I look up some images to show you.
Okay. No, I agree. I think it'd be sick if it were modular, just like the cars and everything, which I can't even talk about the cars without getting a raging Mad Max boner, but it'd be cool to be able to put backpacks on your horse, give them a bunch of inventory slots, just ride them. I'm just picturing like I really hope you can shoot or at least melee while you're on a horse. Just run people down straight up medieval knight style and just slay Newman. And oh man, and then big horse wars, like we'll have big cavalry wars. There will be like roving nomad clans, just big giant groups of horse riding warmongers, just riding around, whole bunch of weapons, just slaying everything, pillaging bases and compounds. Oh man, I'm making myself more and more excited as I talk about this stuff. Holy shit.
Alright, so the ideas I had for horse-drawn, like, wagons would be anywhere from this, where it's, like, carriages and other things. Let me paste it to you. This is, like, a good little silhouette of them.
Okay.
To things
so
like,
more passenger-based, then.
well, passenger or cargo, like a variety,
Right. Probably both. I feel like anything that you can put passengers in, you're going to be able to have inventory space in as well in game.
Yeah, and then you'll have things like this, like this like merchant like kind of wagon.
Oh my god, that even the barrel on the side of that one, it's a barrel that's sitting on the side of it. It looks just like how they have it set up on quarries and such. Almost looks like it could be a real primitive horseless carriage, as they called them back in the day. Big fuel supply. But no, horses are going to be sick. And hopefully carriages, but you may be pushing it with that.
Really, I just want to see something like this. There's like a fucking house that your horse draws around. Like, you know, those fucking old school gypsy wagons and shit.
Straight up gypsy. Straight up.
Granted, completely rustified, you know, like made out of junk and garbage, but like you're basically your horse is carrying a fucking RV like camper behind it kind of shit.
That'd be great. Be able to put up multiple horses to it to increase your horsepower.
That's literally what it's called.
Yeah.
It's funny. It will be
it's
funny.
A joke.
It would be funny if like you were making a pun, but that's literally what it's called.
That was a humorous observation. Don't be a dick.
I'm trying not to, but you're making it hard. Oh man.
Anyways, flamethrower concept art also.
You skipped over the backpacks. We'll touch on the backpacks. We'll touch on the flamethrower in a second, but the backpacks is a huge thing because now we can fucking carry more.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're gonna be great. I don't know.
One of them's just a basket.
Just a woven basket. I like it.
Yeah. Backpacks have been something cool. I've wanted for a while.
Yeah, did they have those in Legacy? They didn't,
did they? No game ever actually
so.
has a backpack. Like, where are we supposed to carry all this shit? Our fucking pockets?
I think Minecraft... Did Minecraft have one, or was that Nope. I think that was a mod.
Yeah, it might have been
a mod. That was a mod I had.
No RPG I've ever played has had a backpack on.
Yeah.
Even though you carry you pull a shotgun out of your back pocket, you know.
Don't Starve. That's what it is. I knew I'd played something. Don't Starve has a backpack. It takes your armor slot though, and I feel like if they do backpacks in Rust, it should do the same thing. I don't think you should be able to wear armor.
No, I think the backpack should just go on over your armor. I think you should just put a backpack.
Yeah, but I think it should be a trade-off. Do you want to carry a bunch of shit, or do you want to have armor?
I would just like to see a game where like a backpack grew on your back as you filled your inventory up.
Oh my god!
Like that would be kind of cool. Like you have a couple things on you. You got like a little what's it called? The waist pouch. What are those called?
Fanny pack.
Yeah, you get like a little fanny pack if you have like a couple things, and then you get like a Dora the Explorer backpack. Like if you're carrying a little bit more, and then you go up to like, you know, camping size backpacks, and maybe then like a small car, like a car trunk taped to your back because, you know, you're carrying 50,000 pounds of metal and stone.
Yeah, I could see the benefit to that. You could look at someone and immediately know how much shit they have on them instead of you know, having to guess how much stuff this naked Newman has shoved up his butthole.
Yeah, that's where everything goes when.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see the benefit to that, but I still feel like it should take an armor slot. I don't think you should be able to wear armor and a backpack at the same time.
Look, we already have to do a trade-off with our armor for a whole bunch of other awesome clothing pieces that should go below the armor. Don't make another trade-off. I'm tired of
that. I do agree with. I think you should be able to wear armor beneath your snow jackets and whatever else makes you take your armor off, but I don't know. That's just me, I guess. I liked it in Don't Starve because it felt like a good trade-off. And honestly, in Don't Starve, you could just put your armor inside your backpack and then drop your backpack on the ground and equip your armor if you needed to. I think the same thing should go on in Rust. I think you should be able to carry a bit of armor in your backpack, and if you feel like you're going to get into some shit, hide your pack, put on armor, go deal with it, hopefully not die, then go back and retrieve your pack.
You remember the backpack mechanic from DayZ?
Yes.
Yeah, and you want that in Rust?
Well, DayZ also had it where your backpack would disappear on the ground. That was really the only frustrating part about it.
Man, I love that game so much, but that backpack disappearing bullshit fucking pissed me off to no end.
Yeah. But Rust, I've had maybe, I can count on one hand how many times I've had a thing fall through the floor or disappear when I threw it on the ground.
True. Rust is a lot better.
It'd be a lot more stable. I think it's actually probably very insulting to Rust to compare it to DayZ's inventory management.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyways, backpacks will be sick.
Flamethrowers.
Fucking flamethrowers. That's gonna be like C4 a wall. Flamethrower guy goes in right after the C4 blows up and just flames everything inside. It's gonna be great.
I would just run around torching people. I hope it has like at least a good like 10-15 feet of range to it, because like I play a lot of games that have flamethrowers and they're effectively useless because you're not going to get within 5 feet of someone to use it, when in real life a flamethrower had like a 30-foot fucking reach on it. Like
they're scary. They're terrifying.
Yeah. Granted, there's always the risk of it blowing up or torching the user, so that's like something you have to keep track of. But the way they're going to make it out of Rust is so funny. It's like a super soaker with a fucking flame on the end, and that's exactly what I wanted. I said this months ago. I hope they had a flamethrower, and I hope it's a super soaker with a fucking lighter on it, and it's a super soaker with a lighter on it.
It's literally a barbecue lighter on the end of it with the trigger taped down.
And it looks like it's got like a super soaker tank on like a bike pump kind of thing. Like it's
like a 2-liter actually. A 2-liter.
It's I don't know. It looks like a bike pump with a pressure washer hose. Yeah, that's the handle of a pressure washer on the end of it.
Or a gas nozzle, maybe a gas pump.
No, it looks like a pressure washer to me.
Okay.
I've used those before.
Yeah.
So you got like a pressure washer for the like trigger and hose, and you got like a bike pump hooked up to the tank to pressurize the pressure washer.
Yeah, I love it. I agree though. I hope they make the range maybe not like 30 feet, but useful, because most flamethrowers are basically melee weapons in most games.
Really, they can add the range on this if they just make it about as useful as that tank would indicate it would be. You know, have to reload it frequently.
Yeah. Sputter out occasionally, maybe not work all the time.
Or like
blow up.
If you had like a 5-second burn time on that, I think that would make it worth having better range on. I think that would balance it if you can only use it for 5 seconds at a time. Because that lets you like torch like an area real quick and call it good, and hopefully you don't get blasted, because I'd be shooting at that guy.
Or maybe an overheat mechanic where you can fire it for a little bit longer than 5 seconds, but you might blow up. That would be funny. I'd love it, because you'd occasionally see in like a firefight a dude just combust and know exactly what happened to him.
I really hope they add a tier 2 flamethrower with a backpack unit that you could shoot out.
Definitely.
Because that's like one of the coolest things about like those old World War II movies, is seeing the guy with the flamethrower that's like just wrecking shit, and he's like ruining the good guy's day, and then like that good guy gets a lucky shot in his backpack
Ting.
and fucking just blows up.
I know, I love it. That's satisfying in any video game too, because the flamethrower enemy, same deal. You're just trying to flank around this dude and shoot him in the back and watch him blow up.
Yeah. Did you see the old animation that they had worked up for the bear trap?
For the trap or for the person stuck in the trap?
The person stuck in the trap.
I think I saw it.
They posted one today, but they posted one a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it.
I'm looking at the one from today.
Here, I found it from, it's in devblog 68. Let me see if this is the right one.
I like it. So are you stuck permanently, or are you just kind of stuck briefly, like until that animation ends?
I don't know.
I would imagine.
All right, go to here's devblog 68. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see the old one, and I want to know what you think from the difference between the old one and the new one. Which one do you like better?
This is the update with the wolf head in it.
Yeah. Also mute
Wonderful update.
Also mute it because it is loud.
Okay. Here we go. Oh my god. That fucking noise is terrible.
The guy just screaming in pain.
I don't know, man. We get shot a lot and we don't make any kind of noise like that. I feel like we could probably handle a bear trap a little bit better. That's probably placeholder sound, though. I think I like the new animation better. Honestly. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if you step in a bear trap, your leg is stuck upright. You're not going to be able to fall over.
Hey,
you could.
Fado just got home. You want to get him in on the podcast?
Oh, sure. Is that Nacor?
What?
Is he on the TeamSpeak or?
No, he'd be Fado.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Also, I forgot to hit record on TeamSpeak. I am recording my own voice though.
Yeah, I'm recording TeamSpeak.
Yeah, figured. I like the balaclava.
It looks so fucking goofy.
I know. I love it. It definitely wasn't one before. It's like it's almost like a sack. I don't know. It looks like some item. There he is.
User joined your channel.
What's up, Fado?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Fado.
What's up, guys?
Doing all right? We've already gone over most of the big stuff. We hit the blueprints.
Oh, cool.
We hit the changes to animal drops. What else have we done? I can't remember.
Are you recording it, Fado?
I'm not gonna. I recorded it just to make sure the timing was right. It seemed fine, but I'm not going to record. I don't have much space right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to piece together a Rust Cribs video. You know, I have a lot of footage for that. And I gotta, recording that shit eats up your hard drive quick, man. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I never thought like I would have to worry about it. And then I started recording, and I'm like, oh, that shit's no joke,
I know.
I have pretty close to a terabyte hard drive, and I just like record some random video game stuff. Try to think of, hey, maybe I could do that YouTube thing too. And I have 87 gigs left of the 500 I have, the 600 I have allocated for my disk space.
Yeah.
And this is on a freshly wiped. Like I deleted everything. Windows.
Yep. I just started recording games. I just figured out I could actually successfully record Rust, and so put up our inaugural video today.
Oh, nice, dude.
First one on the channel. I had this really shitty DayZ one from like a year ago that I deleted, and we're not going to talk about it because it was real bad. But dude, my hard drive is just it's about to take a dump. I can feel it.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell, dude, if you know what to look for. It starts kind of lagging out a little bit.
Yeah.
You should get a solid state just because it's so fast.
Yeah, I don't have one either.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe I'll be the next lucky winner or lucky Vertigo and just make money off YouTube, and I can reinvest that into my computer and everything.
I think with our antics, you have a good start on that.
Maybe. We're dumb as fuck, is what you're saying, and I think that attracts most of the YouTube crowd.
We are
but
so
I think
fucking
when
stupid.
you're humble, it's good being dumb as fuck sometimes. But sometimes let them underestimate you. I think if you come across as dumb as fuck, that's much better because then there's only room to go there. They can underestimate you, so it's not a bad thing.
Very true.
We're very open about how just like pants on head retarded we are.
Well, like our stupid door in that base. We had a door that was from the previous owner that we couldn't use, and we just
it led right into the building too. It was It
Yeah, you
was
should
the
try to
back
experiment sometime. Do like a live radio show while you're playing Rust and like talking about it as you're playing for part of it. And then he can film it as well. He can put it on his channel. That'd be a good.
We actually didn't you do a live one in the early days of PlayRust Public Radio, like a
Well,
live gameplay?
Yeah, that was with Argyle. He was
It was
in
with
the,
Argyle.
He was. I had the game running while I was doing the show, and
You guys kind
like,
of just stood in the same house though. Was yeah.
well, I
watched that.
couldn't really do much like
Yeah.
in the game because I didn't want like it was already crashing a lot. My internet was like really teetering at that point. Like Rust for some
Yeah.
reason was breaking my internal internet chip. Like it actually took out my internet chip for like 3 or 4 days at one point.
I believe it, man. It's alpha games can wreak havoc. There was a recent bug with the game where it was causing people's computers with Windows 7 to fucking shut down and like lock up, and it wouldn't be able to turn off or some shit. It's
Oh
kind of
shit!
It still
crazy.
does
You never
that.
know. I think they fixed it, but yeah.
Don't ever try force closing it through Task Manager because it will stay open, hogging 3 gigs of RAM, slow the rest of the computer down. Even after it's all shut down, it still hogs resources.
I think that's happened to me, and I didn't even realize it. I think I thought I had a virus. It's probably just Rust running in the background.
Yeah,
Basically a virus. Let's be honest too.
I guess it like had like a runaway memory leak that somehow took up all my CPU as well. It was weird.
Yeah. That's the territory of alpha games, man.
Yep.
You know, speaking of that day you went out with the Argyle, I think that's the first day that me and you really like interacted, wasn't it? That live show where you went live from an old version of Rogerstown.
That was like the first it was like the second but really first real PR I did, and you were in the like you helped out a lot. You were in the background telling me when there were issues and when there weren't. It's like
can't hear you.
Skunk listened to the first episode, and then he sent me a photoshopped show art, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking sweet as hell. I was excited anybody even cared enough to do something like that.
Yeah.
That was such a cool idea, though. Like a live radio show based in Rust. Like, it fascinated me. I don't know.
Yeah, and
that was sick.
Real fascinating, man. You can, and it provides the content for you too. Every week there's going to be changes. There's new scenarios you can do. You can run out there and have your hand on the pulse of the community. Go on popular servers, talk to people about how the updates are. Talk about how whatever's going down, man.
I still want to do the live thing, but for some reason live audio streaming is so far behind in terms of all the sites require you to pay money to stream to like a wider audience or at a higher quality. Like none of them have proper analytics, and why would I use any of that when Twitch does video streaming completely for free, regardless of listeners? I
think YouTube is the new place for podcasts anyway. So if you can somehow create a YouTube channel for the PlayRust Public Radio, a lot of people actually they throw it on in the background. Everybody has on their phone now, so it's becoming more of a podcasting place as well.
That was the plan, actually.
Spoiler alert. That's where this is going.
Gave it away.
Oh, that's a good idea, man. Any way I can help you guys, just
appreciate it. We'll do YouTube, and then I think we also decided we'll throw it on SoundCloud too, just for sure. Minor.
I was thinking of throwing the full interviews on SoundCloud because those interviews could take up 2 hours. Like,
we did a long
one.
We were expecting it like 30-40 minutes maybe, and it turned into like a 2-hour kind of just conversation.
Well, I think part of that too was that initially we were really focused, and then you had to take a break, and then so we picked up a day later, and I think we picked up a day later, we essentially gave, it works out because people will get twice the content if it's something they want to tune into, but
exactly. And like people like you, you have actual fans that would actually want to know more about you, more about your interests. People love that shit.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. I've been talking about doing a Rust podcast since I was, first started the channel, and for a while was helping the guys at Rustified out a little bit, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do one," and I was like, "Great. I'm like, let me know. I'll help out any way I can." And then like nothing, there was no more discussion about it.
Yeah.
And so like I was glad to hear you guys were doing it, and I'd love to participate in it as much as I can. I don't have the skills to put a podcast together, but I'd love to
If
be
you
part
want
of
to
one.
join in like every week to be a co-host, that's great. We'll do all the editing and stuff. You just
Yeah,
jump on for the ride.
I'd like to, I don't want to screw you guys either. I have a very busy work schedule, so sometimes I can't always commit to it. But if I could be maybe like a co-host who pops in like a few times a month or like every other week, might be
Sure.
That's
cool.
great. Yeah. All right, so back to the rustiness. We were talking about the current update. How do you feel about the big changes that they've been doing lately?
In terms of just the past update, or in terms of all the updates?
Really all the last like 3 or 4 updates that have come out. A lot of big game-changing stuff.
Yeah, man, I think it's a big deal. I mean, introducing high-quality metal and requiring that to upgrade bases to the highest tier and needing it for high-end weapons and items. That's huge. That requires that people use their resources differently, manage them differently. So I think it shook things up pretty good. In terms of the the recent patch with the blueprints, I mean that's a whole new concept to adopt, and it could create a player economy too if people start trading the scraps or they become some type of currency because you rely on them so much. So I think it'll be interesting to see where people take it. But yeah, they're definitely mixing it up.
It's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about people trading blueprint fragments and everything. That could be the new, like before it was always, 10k wood for whatever blueprint, maybe the blueprint fragments will now be traded for very specific ones. That would actually make a lot of sense because like let's say you pull in, I don't know, double the amount of fragments it costs to get that specific blueprint you're offering, that I think people would pay double the price to get the very specific one they want. It's a good idea.
Absolutely. I can definitely see it, becoming part of the economy, a player-driven economy, something that isn't forced on people, but, they're going to definitely adapt that into their, interactions for sure.
Yeah. How do you feel about not being able to build around monuments? This is what I was talking about earlier when I said that I wasn't quite sure about something, but I forgot. It's this. Like, I never got to build around them, but I still kind of miss seeing bases on them.
Well, I think every monument was different. I mean, the one they shook up the most was probably the most valuable one, which was the globe or the Death Star, and that's could really put a badass base on there if you did it right. That was really hard to get to and really kind of easy to defend against. And I'm for it because those were kind of probably a good thing, but it also was prime real estate, so it was always kind of fun to see what was going on around that monument. But I think it needed to be done. I mean, just having people build on those landmarks probably wasn't ever intended, and you can kind of use them in sort of a glitchy way as well. So
yeah, I thought it was something they were gonna keep by like what they said like an update or 2 ago, how they were doing this new remodel for it and wanted to like let people still build on top, but I guess they changed their minds about that. I understand like why they did it, and like I don't know, like it's just something I don't know how I feel about yet, because I always thought they were really cool, even though I wasn't the one enjoying it, But
the monument thing, I'm glad actually that they don't allow you to build in them anymore. It was like mildly cool to see people block off the monuments, but then it's like no one can enjoy them, It's one person taking it over, and then it's theirs, and you just go wide around the thing because, they probably have a whole bunch of guns because they don't have to maintain a huge fucking base anymore. They just put all their resources into guns and ammo and shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it feels like now, especially adding in the community facilities, the high-quality quarry in one of the rad towns, the oil pump elsewhere, the repair and research bench, at that other place. It feels like more of a a regular landmark where people actually go, and you'll see a bunch of people, and they'll probably shoot you. Good Rust stuff like that.
They definitely will shoot you over and over again.
With a crossbow, right?
A fucking crossbow. Damn. I spent 30 minutes trying to harvest blueprints from the globe monument because I kept spawning right next to it. I would spawn, turn, and there it would be. And this one guy just kept killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're definitely going to use it as a way to sort of want to congregate people and hopefully have some different interactions too. I mean, you can, find some interesting things that occur. I mean, that sense of economy, but if you're having places where players are going to be more likely to be found, that's interesting because even on, large maps, if you play on, Rustified or Rustopia, even when you have a max server at 200, 250 people, you can walk around and feel like you're not really seeing anyone because everybody's in their house. They're kind of all doing their own thing. They only come out for a raid. Otherwise, they're on guard duty. So it'll be interesting to see people coming out, especially while they're all looking for blueprints and seeing what type of interactions, that brings.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Have you gotten to play much this update yet? Beta?
I have not. No, I just tested it out and I have not played.
Next time you play, go sneak around the globe. The sounds that they've implemented for it are deeply unsettling and just nerve-wracking. Because you're avoiding other players, but this thing is creaking and groaning, and your footsteps echo on the metal parts. It's scary.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video on that today, man. That really adds to the atmosphere and the tension, and it's going to become a place where people are going to be mad paranoid when they go in there because people are going to be camping it. They're going to assume the people in there might have stuff on them. Those crafting stations, it's awesome they introduced them into the public, but they put them in also locations that's going to drive the most people to them. So it'll be just interesting to see how people interact in those spaces. But yeah, the sound of it, the overall atmosphere will really add to that too.
And I liked it. I know it seems silly and kind of insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but the research and repair bench that they added into I think it was the satellite dish. Is that right?
Yeah,
the satellite dish. They I like that they did that because one common complaint I see just all over, Reddit and other places people talk about Rust is that they're ignoring the little guy, the lone wolf, the blah, 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 the person that doesn't really want to build a base. They just kind of live the nomad life and run around with all their stuff on them. Well, that thing kind of acknowledges that. I think it's a tiny thing that, I don't really play the nomad lifestyle, so I don't understand exactly how hard it is, but just that little thing shows they are actually paying attention to different brands of players, I guess. And I don't know, I like that, and I'm sure a lot of other people appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that's one of the big, complaints that some of the community has is they feel like, what about the lone wolf? What about the solo player? And I think it is a step in that direction, and they acknowledge that in the dev blog. I think that that concept of a lone wolf is something that comes up a lot. And Rust is a hard game to play if you don't really want to be part of a group or at least a small group. So I find that concept interesting, and it is a hard game to play solo, and it's
yeah.
Part of it's about being part of a group, and
I normally play extremely solo until I started doing this radio show, but I haven't done it in a while, and since these new industry updates, I think the next week or so, I think I might just try playing lone wolf style, and well, I mean,
oh, okay. No, it's fine. It's okay. I don't mind. I guess you know what? I guess I'll play lone wolf too.
No, I'll go off and have lone wolf adventures outside of our cave shanty.
Listen, man, if you you don't like me, just say it. I'll understand.
He's trying to be nice. He wants to broaden his horizons. He's trying to let you down easy, man.
Look,
who is it? Who's the other man?
Who's the other?
Damn it!
Who's the other intern / executive producer in all the other things you do?
Did you get a new intern? Did you replace me with a new intern?
Oh man.
But no, sorry. Continue. Lone wolf.
Yeah, I think I might go about trying to use the new facilities in a lone wolf fashion. like how I used to play, since they've added so much since I stopped playing like that. Like, I don't know. I think it might be interesting to see how viable it is to actually play like that again.
I think, honestly, they can do stuff to assist the little guy, but when it comes down to it, playing by yourself is always gonna be really fucking hard. Like,
I'm okay with it being hard. Like,
yeah.
it is, but you can, like, big groups are always going to have an advantage. You don't need to give big groups specific big group advantages for them to still have big group advantages. You know?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are just looking for a reason to complain. I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like, 3 people fighting 1 person is always going to be an unfair match. There is nothing the Rust devs will ever be able to do to change the way that numbers work.
Unless you're someone like, Winter or a couple other those YouTubers who will run up to a group of armored people and just wreck them for fun.
Yeah, they're recording their best moments too. Don't forget they've failed 50 times before. So
of course.
It happens.
Highlight
I
reel.
mean, I had a pretty crazy headshot one time with a revolver, but it's interesting, how that happens. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh well. Fuck the lone wolves, I guess. I mean, even though I am one now, apparently, according to Drostan.
Well, I think a better way for people is to modify the concept of a lone wolf and assume if you're playing on a highly populated server with, upwards of 200 people, it's going to be a case where you're going to interact by nature of that amount of people, on a more frequent basis. So I would say try to align yourself with a group and try to like live on their land, but have their sort of consent where there's a mutual agreement. I think that's the best survival way for somebody who wants to,
What I do is I try to like make friends with the bigger groups so that when they see me, they're less inclined to kill me. And all it takes is getting 1 or 2 people in a big group to like you, for the whole group to basically be like, okay, hey, so-and-so says don't kill, so-and-so. And then you basically are able to have areas that you can go moderately safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first time after they switched to New Rust, I hadn't played Rust in like a year or something like that, because New Rust, when it first became the Rust, was buggy and just terrible, and I was like, this is crazy, and so I just stopped playing for a while. I was playing other things. The first time I came back, I was on a very, very low pop server, like maxed out at about 16 people, I think, and I hadn't really interacted with too many people there before, but this one guy I was nice to, and turns out he was part of a huge group of, huge, it was like 6 people in the group, which is a large percentage of that server's population, and I just gave him a code lock, I think, or maybe a code lock blueprint, because I had found one. He was like, he was all excited and was like, thanks man, whatever, and then eventually find out he's part of a big group. I go to their base, and they have a sign up in their base with my name on it that says, Skunk Monk is cool. He gave us BP. Don't shoot. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So being nice people to groups is the way to go. I learned that day.
Little did you know that you gave away one of the rarest items in the game.
I already had it, though, so I didn't care.
What?
I already had one.
It took me a month to eventually get a code lock blueprint. And you know how that happened? They made it a default.
I don't know how I got it, but I did. And then I had 2, apparently. I guess. I don't know.
That was
Maybe
the
I
problem.
just gave him a blueprint. I think that's what it was. I crafted him a few, but still earned me a sign.
That's good.
That's all it takes, man, because every wipe you're usually playing with the same group, so if you make the right friends, you can live in relative peace.
Yeah. That also requires people to have like some semblance of social skills, which a lot of people don't. So, some lone wolves are just lost causes.
Some lone wolves are lone wolves because no one will play with them, which is okay, but they can't expect the game to get made for them.
No, just because you're a dick doesn't mean we need to add new features to make up for it.
Being a lone wolf does not mean you're a dick.
No, it doesn't, but some people are lone wolves because they're dicks. And they want the new features to make their life easier because they can't make friends. That's what the real problem is.
It's like one of those weird circle graphs where all dicks are lone wolves, but not all lone wolves are dicks. Like,
No.
I don't know. Occasionally a group of dicks meets up and they form a clan and wreck a server. Not always lone wolves.
True. It's a group of lone wolves.
Yeah.
All
That's
about
bad.
group dynamics, man, and the way the game is played is very interesting.
Oh man. So what I was asking before I lost connection is how have these last few updates affected raiding? Because I've noticed you haven't had very many raid cam videos, and that usually means there's not a lot of whole interesting raids going on.
With the rockets on the highly populated servers, essentially what was happening was you'd see large groups sort of mass-produce rockets, and they would sort of zerg a bunch of bases halfway through a wipe cycle, and then people just lose their motivation to want to rebuild, and some will still play, but it kind of just takes a bit of the fun out of it for people. So I think that's why the raiding isn't as prominent. It's also happening. I see a lot of raids that I actually watch, but I choose not to record or upload because I don't think a raid of 20 guys blowing up a house of 3 guys is something that has any value or anyone wants to see. So I try to ignore anything that, kind of seems like that. So, but yeah, the raiding has just been a bit overpowered with the rockets, and I think that initially they were fun, and now this patch is a step in the right direction, so it'll kind of bring that balance back.
Yeah. It's good to have your input. We don't raid much. Well, we never have our shit together, even if we wanted to raid.
Yeah.
We never have our shit together enough to actually perform a raid.
Our raids are so ghetto and unplanned. Like, we're running around the house for like 3 hours trying to scrounge together C4, and then like we're like a little bit short of a C4, so we run out and gather some resources. Then we're like, oh wait, we can almost make another one. And we do it all over again. So 4 hours later, we finally go with like 3 C4, and then have to hammer through doors.
End up still needing about 10 pickaxes to finish the job. Like we are pathetic
stuck
raiders
in people's houses.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you guys should do a series on that. I mean, people would love to see that,
That's what made him start recording in the first place, is how horribly unplanned our raids were.
Yeah, I actually got one of them on camera. I think the one you're talking about, the one we fucked up with, Hair Club and Waffles, I think, on that one. I didn't record Farmer Joe raid, though.
That was a
beautiful mess.
That was just a mean-spirited raid. This kid was such an asshole.
He was a little kid. He was an
asshole.
He was a little kid with he did nothing but play Rust and didn't really have anyone to play with, but he would every time he got killed, he'd accuse the other person of hacking for the next 30 minutes,
Right.
That kind of person. And
he's
so then we
he's
find
lucky
out
he stayed on the server, spamming chat and shit like that.
Exactly. Well, he did leave, but not because he got kicked. It's because we destroyed his house and left mean signs on it.
He got butthurt, in other words, right?
Yeah.
I was starting a trailer park around the radio station building that we had built, stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
And I told him, look, me and my neighbors, we have an agreement where we just kind of shoot at each other for fun. We don't raid each other, we just shoot at each other for fun. Just keep that in mind when you're in this area. You probably gonna get shot at. Of course, he got shot at. And told the guy, "You're so fucked. I'm gonna come see for you. You better not fucking go to sleep."
Who shot him? Who was it?
It was the Hair Club.
Okay.
Because he was having World War II flashbacks.
That was the first thing I met Hair Club, and we immediately bonded over our disdain for Farmer Joe and our need to kill him. So we were fast friends. Sorry, continue.
These guys went from being my neighbors, who I was still kind of unsure about, to being best friends. Because this kid started freaking the fuck out and saying he was gonna blow their stuff up, and I'm like, no, I like them. I like my neighbors. My neighbors are cool. We shoot at each other. It's fun. So we wound up getting together and all right, we gotta get rid of him before he might go crazy and blow your base up. So we scavenged all of our resources together to make as much C4 as possible, a bunch of hatchets and shit. We bankrupted ourselves to raid this wooden house.
with
It was
nothing in it.
There was
There
nothing.
was nothing in
I
there.
think we blew up the chests when we C4'd it though,
Yeah.
because like the C4 still. I don't remember if it was doing area damage, but it was definitely blowing up chests back then.
It was such a mess because he made it. He did the spike build. He put spikes around the entire area of his house, and then the only way to get to a front door was to walk through a skinny, like 1 Newman wide hallway of spikes.
Which
So
we
were
should have just broke.
We should have, but that would have killed us like multiple times. So we were constantly just like running
those
into
are a bitch.
spikes, dying on the spikes, going in and out of the house. It was just a mess. Absolute mess.
At one point, I jumped out the back window after we were almost done raiding, and I landed on the spikes. But I hit like a sweet spot on top of the spikes where if I didn't move, I would stay alive. So I'm trapped on these spikes for like 10 minutes, yelling, "Help, guys! Please help! Please! I'm stuck! Help!"
And we didn't.
I think we have screenshots of me trapped up there.
Yeah, you painted a sign while you were up there.
It was a beautiful sign.
Yeah, sure it was. Probably Dick's.
It was Dick's.
Definitely Dick's. He made a little shop like in our valley, and he was totally copying us. What was he? He was copying Durf Diggler's bed and breakfast. He
Which was
absolutely
non-existent.
ripping it off.
Which was a completely non-existent business.
Yeah. So he must have watched the show or listened to the show at one point then.
He was.
I don't know how I didn't put that
He was
together.
my biggest fan.
Oh man, now I feel bad.
He was an asshole though.
It was probably an honor to him. He was excited to get raided by the Drostan.
I don't think he knew that I was involved because I was still
True.
trying. The show was still new. I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to like remain neutral, but I guess I threw that out the fucking window.
Yeah, it's still entertaining the neutral party idea.
Even though the only people that really supported the show were raiders.
I know.
That was kind of funny.
One thing we need to, I guess this is out of character or whatever, but we need to get back on the happenings of the server, like a weekly update on raids and shit.
Yeah, I'm still trying
Note
to figure
to
out how I
self.
want to do that.
Yeah, note to self, I guess.
I think that might be like a separate video, like midway through the week with like Ruigi, because I mean that guy's fucking awesome.
Yep, that'll be better for it.
So what do you think about the upcoming changes, Fado? The electricity, the horses, the cars,
Flamethrower.
flamethrowers.
Yeah, all good stuff, man. I mean, I'm really excited for some stuff that's even, a little bit farther out, like the turrets on the bases and the enemies, which will eventually be added in. But that's all really cool stuff, and I mean, it's gonna be awesome to experience that for the first time in a game.
I'm thinking like Fury Road will be in this game.
It will begin with horses.
Yeah, we gotta start with the horses.
I just hope I could shoot an AK off the horse, because that would be so fucking cool.
Oh, I want to be desert raiders.
Yeah,
Horses riding around in the desert with
With
AKs.
burlap sacks on
the
their face.
Arabian Nights.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yes, I couldn't think of the word for
Yeah,
it.
dude.
Arabian Nights. Oh my god. It's going to be wonderful. The next big thing that I'm most excited about, I mean, horses are going to be great, but electricity and the things that come with it. I feel like if they do that correctly and in a cool way, it could be so much fun. So much fun.
I'm hoping it does for Rust what Redstone did for Minecraft. Because it just
Yeah.
added so much you can do just from like that big buzzword emergent gameplay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds great.
You need to know how to read to know what that means. I just hear it
Yeah,
going
I'm
around
working
a lot.
on it. These blueprint pages are really helping me learn the alphabet. It's got to be said. But no, Redstone was great, and I hope I didn't even think about that until you said it, but I hope it's more of a free-form thing like Redstone is, with the like being able to make up circuits and everything like that. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah, dude. I think initially they'll start with things like that work, sort of on somewhat of an automated basis, like lights you can turn on, big spotlights to put around your compound, probably like electric fences, stuff like that, and then hopefully branch out into something that's more freeform. That would be pretty badass.
So cool. How do you think? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to see like megaphones and actual radios get put into the game. Because like if they added like a radio in the game, which I suggested on the Reddit like months and months before I even thought of doing PR, like I suggested that they have radios that you can like broadcast from and have like radio stations in the game. I hope they do that because I will totally like be broadcasting in the game.
That would be sick. I don't know how likely that is, but that would be so fucking cool. Walkie-talkies, now that you mention it, not full-fledged radios, but walkie-talkies would be cool.
Like
even though most
ones.
people are just going to use, TeamSpeak like we do, like regular human beings. In fact, they probably won't do walkie-talkies specifically for that. If you know a guy well enough to give him a walkie-talkie, you probably have his TeamSpeak ID.
True.
Yeah.
TeamSpeak what?
Whatever. On the same server as him, alright? Fight me.
Oh, man.
Alright. What have we not talked about?
Oh, yeah, you wanted to talk about that survival competition thing. From Ark.
Yeah, right. So Ark recently had this, you've heard about it. It's like it was
Survival
like a
of the fittest.
$20,000 survival of the fittest.
Yes. Yep.
Which is insane. I had never thought of these survival games as being, I mean, they are naturally competitive, but not making it into a competition like that. And that's so cool. And I just immediately, of course, thought, what if Rust had one? Like, how would that work? Would that even be... I didn't actually watch the Ark thing, but I assume they split it up into teams, and you go about your team, and you try as fast as possible to get resources and not die. And if you die, you're dead, and the remaining team gets the money. Is that roughly how it went?
Yeah, I believe there was some like admin presence as well, where they would have random world events occur, and they would sort of throw something into the mix. But yeah, I think that's mostly what it was all about. Yeah,
that would be so cool to have one for Rust. I mean, we have Battle Royale. That's the basic idea of it, and of course, there's no prize money associated with the end of Battle Royale.
Yeah,
but an actual survival mode version of that.
Exactly.
I think a survival. I would much rather play a survival-based version of it rather than something that feels, to me, it Battle Royale is cool, but it also feels not like Rust. I think Rust, the inherent part of it, is feeling like you're surviving on the landscape. So a map where like it was, a smaller scale map, and there was a
like
limited
Happus.
number of players, like Happus, yeah, maybe, yep. Less places you have to be more out in the open. It would be absolutely badass,
Definitely. Battle Royale to me is more like, it feels too quick, this version of it. I've played Battle Royale in other games like the Arma series. It's a shooter. It's a shooter for sure. It's definitely just combat training. But in other games, like I played it in Arma 2 a decent bit, a little bit in Arma 3. It was a lot slower paced. It feels like you go from beginning to end in this version of Battle Royale really quickly. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Arma is just a slower game.
Yeah,
so that could be a big part of it. And the map is so freaking big.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the Ark competition. I'm wondering if Rust would ever take a cue from that and or someone even organize some sort of paid competition between I don't know. I guess big YouTubers or something.
Was the survival of the fittest between YouTubers or I know I know partially Royal was on
I think
second.
it was big Twitch and YouTube personalities, but not all of them necessarily knew how to play the game too. So when I listened to some of the team interviews, it sounded like some people got kind of shafted and played with maybe a player who wasn't a survival gamer, and it sounded very difficult for some teams. So, however it was organized, I think was based off celebrity rather than time in game. So I think some people it really got fucked.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I thought it sounds more like a publicity stunt now. When you
yeah.
explain those little things behind
Well, it's definitely
it,
a publicity stunt, but it's a pretty damn
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
No,
for
absolutely,
sure.
and it's heralding in a new game mode. I mean, that's going to be open to everyone, so it's a great way to introduce it. I think that it was a really cool thing, to include the community. But
So my brother and I have this theory about Ark. Remember back when
share.
remember back when they took zombies out of Rust, like Legacy?
Yep.
They held a poll to see what the next AI enemy would be for PvE, and they just kind of like jokingly put dinosaurs on the list, but dinosaurs won by an enormous margin. And my brother and I think that like once the devs of Ark realized that there wouldn't be dinosaurs in Rust, they just made it. Like that's
That would make
our
sense.
theory.
That would make sense. I
Which
mean,
would
who
explain-
doesn't love dinosaurs? And that's like a free poll too. Like it's the exact community that plays Rust is the type of people who would play Ark, and you just got a free survey to all of them asking
Yep.
what they want in game. Like,
yeah,
that's only business savvy to take that and run with it.
Why haven't there been more games with dinosaurs like this? I know they had Stomping Land, which was a fucking hilarious scam.
I almost
I think
got that.
dinosaurs are a tough sell, and I think Ark does do it well from the limited time that I've played. I think it's a risky proposition to put dinosaurs in a game, and if it comes out the wrong way and looks fucking retarded or the AI is stupid, I mean, you expect a dinosaur to have some level of I don't know, just precision to it and maybe intelligence. So I think it's a hard thing to program from an AI perspective.
I don't know.
So-
The dinosaurs in Ark are pretty fucking stupid.
No, they are. But they're nice to look at, and I think it's
if someone just told me about like back when Rust was new, if they told me about Rust and oh by the way it has dinosaurs, I would have been sold on the word dinosaurs. Like how with a generation that grew up watching Jurassic Park, you'd think we would have had a game like that sooner. Like everybody loves fucking dinosaurs.
See, that's the thing. There's a lot of pressure to do dinosaurs right. Like Fado was saying, if you fuck
True.
up your dinosaur,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like the animals in Rust. They're all kind of really stupid, but that's okay. It's just a deer, it's just a horse, it's just a bear. But if I see a T-Rex and he's
Yep.
acting like a doofus, I'm gonna be pissed. That T-Rex should be terrifying. I should be shitting myself right now. And if I'm not shitting myself, I want a refund.
Oh yeah,
It's a big
it's
shoes
a
to fill.
demand one. It's a
Demand one.
risky proposition, man.
Yeah,
so I
it's one of
think- I
those,
think,
you got to do them right.
Yeah, and I think I'm sure when they implement enemies, they're gonna do it right. They did it before. They had zombies, in Legacy. They replaced them with the rad bears. That was kind of weird, but it was still cool. I wouldn't care right now if they reskinned a bear and had it just be really gnarly and aggressive and had it roaming the landscape. I mean, just something would be cool. But I'm sure that they're gonna wait and do it in a way that's gonna be meaningful in the sense of Rust and
I just hope they do
differentiate itself.
caretakers.
Well, I don't know if
Caretaker.
that was that ever their concept or was that always like a community-based concept? I think it was theirs,
kind
right?
of. I think they were it was one of the things that they had put a concept art out and just kind of this is one of the things we're thinking of, and then the community ran away with it, and everybody fucking wants it, but they keep cock teasing us every few weeks in the community update. Just every few weeks they're like, oh hey, look what these people did about the caretaker concept, but.
Yeah.
Everybody, obviously, we want it,
Yeah, well, I'm sure they know that. They hear it loud and clear. I'm sure there's some pressure on that. I think that's the next iteration of the game is beyond the items is adding in some type of intelligence. But I think they got to work on the animals before they can do that because, to say we're going to implement a higher level enemy at this point, we have, animals that just kind of get stuck in rocks, I think is risky
Yeah,
too. I think
I
they
agree with
got to
that.
tame that AI on that level and then integrate it into a more formidable opponent.
There's a lot of cool things just coming on the horizon. The last the last month of updates really has been crazy.
I haven't played much in the last month, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've been
I'm
kind of
getting the last month of updates all at once, but
Yeah, it's focused more on melee, progression. It's you can't get to the C4 and rockets quite as quick. I mean, on larger servers, they still can with big groups, but in general, it feels like a much more gradual progression where melee is more prominent. I mean, you're seeing people with crossbows run around now more than AKs, which is cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love it. I love it. Like seeing it happen slower. Like, but it's cool. Is like they made the blueprints easier to get, while at the same time somehow slowing progression from rock to AK.
which I dig. I love. It feels less like a shooter and more like a survival thing. I love the focus on melee. Sorry, melee,
Yeah.
and all the cool swords and shit they're putting in, like all these cool new items. And it seems like every week they're releasing concept art for more of them. It's great. I think it actually goes back a little bit to the lone wolf players. They have a little bit more chance now because it's melee based. You're gonna have more common melee weapons, less common ranged weapons, and more of a chance to defend yourself.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, it's a whole different way to think about the game, and it's the game. If they didn't do that, it would feel stagnant. I mean, there gets to a point where you have to kind of shake things up a bit, and they're good about doing that. I mean, um, when they start implementing things like the need to hydrate and eat on a more regular basis, and it becomes a little
An
more
actual part of
survival
the
oriented.
game.
Yeah, I mean, when that system's integrated, I mean, I'm sure it's going to really feel different. I mean, who knows what it's going to turn into, but it's a really just a great game already. So cool to be there.
I just hope Rust gets to a point where we can go more than 2 weeks without a wipe being necessary like it is now.
Yeah, it seems like I mean, I think the hard part. I mean, with somebody being who's not like I'm not really that knowledgeable of computer programming, but it seems like the concept of Rust is larger than Unity and even Envision. I mean, I think like so they're trying to contain the vision within this sort of the parameters of the Unity engine. So I see a lot of their confines being figuring out how to work around like memory leaks in that system and fucking any I think it's
Item
difficult
limits.
yeah, I think it's difficult to work within a system that is limiting. I think if you that's the risky part. But I mean, even to initially go from legacy to the new Rust, I mean, that was a big step.
They'll just restart again. New Rust confirmed.
No, I think Rust is just going to keep iterating on its current version, and that's a cool thing. It's organic. I mean, if you've been along for the ride, you're really seeing a game come up through different stages where things are more prominent. I mean, I think Rust is also a building game. I think a lot of people see the rating and they think rating is the best part of it or something, but some of the best pieces are building bases with your friends or whatever and figuring out how to like keep the raiders out and being creative and watching people get caught in traps. I mean, the enjoyment is endless with Rust. I mean,
or in our case, fucking up a cave build beyond belief.
Oh my god.
Caves are tough, dude. Yeah.
Did you record any of our cave building?
No.
Well,
No,
if it's still there when we get back in, you gotta get like you gotta like get a little bit of that on video because it's fucking terrible.
Cribs, Rust Cribs, Doofus edition. Just
Boot up, guys.
completely
Yeah.
fucked this shit up. Like
Rust Cribs, what the fuck is this shit?
in our defense, that is a very weirdly formed cave.
Well, in our defense, we've never built in a cave, and caves are hard.
Yeah.
But how did you guys fuck it up? I mean, caves are all built the same. They're oddly shaped, but
We completely fucked it up. It's just
How
like,
so?
One wall is the wrong way because just
if
didn't
you
know.
look up
Facing
when
the
you
wrong
build
way.
it, apparently it places the wrong way. But like, just the layout of it's weird. We have to like crouch through
Yeah.
a doorway and then like crouch jump through another one. And I kind of fixed a little bit of those problems, but
Which, I mean, I guess
still
that's its
terrible.
own kind of defense. It's very difficult to get in and out of, and we're going to be very used to it, whereas a potential raider would not be. But I don't know. It's a mess.
And thank
in there.
God they nerfed rockets, because like a few well placed rockets in a cave base would normally just tear it to shreds.
Yeah, I saw some cave bases get annihilated by rockets. It was pretty stunning to see. And caves, there's only one way out, so it can be a bit of a yeah.
Yeah, we're fully expecting to get our shit pushed in, and we're just gonna move to the desert or the north. What did we decide on, north or desert?
I think we decided on desert, but
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
no,
can't
the
get
north,
oil.
the north,
North-
because
north.
of like glaciers are back.
Right. Yeah, we were gonna fail at that after we fail at this.
Do it up, dude. You should record it for your YouTube channel and fucking do a series out of it or whatever. See how long you can survive in a
Should.
cave.
Right.
Because you're gonna interact with people in a cave. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Especially when it's right next to a rat house.
Oh yeah, and the road, and another big sort of built base like around the corner.
Yeah, it's prime real
It'll be
estate.
mess. It's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
Just gotta hope we get overlooked. I saw a really clever cave base a while back where there was a house built on top of the cave rock, and the base in the bottom was like somehow hidden. So like you'd raid the top base and not notice the bottom base. It was pretty clever.
Ooh. Requires you to be like semi-competent at building, which neither of us are. So, maybe next time.
I like to think I'm competent at building, and then I actually build something and realize like just how little like ability to plan properly I have. Like the radio station always like starts out as a great idea, but then it turns into like just the most horrible building.
Yeah. We had the best one we had going was
The first one, it was the first one we built like right outside the base we stole. It was like star shaped, and that was really cool.
yeah, that one. And then we try. Oh no, we didn't rebuild that. We just kind of claimed another half-built base in front of it or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that was the best one, and then it got took over by some like I feel like they were kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being spiteful, but they took it over and put a bunch of signs up all over it. And then we took it back, didn't we? Because they just completely just fucked up the build. Like it was unusable.
They put doorways in all of the triangle sections, so you couldn't navigate through it, and they probably realized that and abandoned it.
Yeah. It was also near the end of the wipe cycle, so they may have regularly abandoned it. But still, that was sad. I was sad we lost that. We never got around to building the giant tower with the lanterns on top that just never goes out to be our radio tower.
Yeah, because they fixed that. You can't drag overstacked items anymore. Like while you could like stack items to like near infinite amounts, we planned on building like a beacon on top of our radio station, and just loading like 200,000 wood into it.
Right, and just never. I mean, we could just do pillars on pillars on pillars, like a single pillar going all the way up and ladder all the way up it. That'll take forever and a day to do, but then just be able to go up there and refuel it every now and then. So, when did you start your YouTube channel, Fedo?
6 months ago, February.
6 months ago. Did you do any kind of like some kind of public speaking before that or anything? Out of curiosity?
Yeah, I teach at a community college, so
Right.
and a lecture and shit like that. So that's pretty much it.
Gotcha. I was just curious. I work for a news station, so like I interview people a lot for work, and the way that you respond to questions is like a PR type person. They're very enthusiastic with the way they respond to questions and well spoken and stuff. And so I'm like trying to figure out. I'm like, this guy couldn't have only been doing YouTube. Like he's got to have done something before this. But okay, no, that makes sense.
I've had a life outside of YouTube, so
yeah. No, I mean, I knew you did. I just was wondering if it actually included some kind of public speaking or not.
Yeah.
But okay.
For sure.
No, just curious.
Yeah.
How did you? What made you start doing YouTube?
It was kind of to prove a point to younger relative that just they had this sort of idea that they were gonna make a living off YouTube, and I was like, you could potentially do that, but I said I really don't think that it's feasible. So I was trying to compare some numbers, and so he kind of made me a bet. He's like, why don't you try to start a channel? And I said, I'll do that, and I agreed to do it for 1 month, and then I started to have fun with it. It just fucking kind of took off, and I was playing a lot of Rust, and people responded to that, so I kept going with it.
Hell yeah.
And then it got popular and kind of ruined your point.
Yeah.
I feel like you're okay with losing that argument, though.
What is the argument?
That you couldn't make a living off YouTube. Well, whatever.
I proved a point that sort of the numbers can speak to what type of viewership you would need to generate something that would be livable. So
yeah,
the data does speak. There's definitely things to learn from it. I mean, you need to make a living off it. You could definitely do it, but you need
to put in some serious work to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's way more views than people think.
Yeah, I guess this is a good lead into. We recorded an interview with Fado, but then life struck like a fucking wrecking ball, and wasn't able to get it all like cobbled together into a proper video. But I guess we'll put that on SoundCloud and include that in the video description, so people can hear all this in long format.
Yeah. Cool.
Because I think that was a really good interview that we had, Fado.
Yeah, whatever you think, man. It's not really a big deal. I mean, if you want to chop it up, I know it was kind of long. We talked about different stuff, so feel free to shorten it up too. Whatever you think is good.
I think it was all interesting. I'll send it over to you before I upload it just to see if there's anything you want taken out. But
cool, I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's all good though. I think we had a good time with it.
Yeah, I think a longer interview would be nice for like SoundCloud, because SoundCloud's something you could easily play in the background. Like, I know I have trouble playing YouTube videos in the background of games.
Yeah.
But like SoundCloud, I listen to a lot of podcasts as I play other games. Not necessarily Rust, because gotta keep your head on a fucking swivel.
Yeah, dude. Rust is a game about paranoia.
Yeah. All right. Do we? I don't want to prematurely end it, but I'm getting a little winded here.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Man, I gotta.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Good shit.
All right. I guess we'll end it on a really abrupt and sudden note.
Hey guys, we're done.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Boom. End. Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you
It's good
next
to
time,
have you.
Beta.
All right, man. Peace.
Ugh, good shit.